So I've been rewatching season 2 of the Apothecary Diaries, and with season 3 coming out later this year, once you know how everything plays out, the whole show looks completely different, especially when it comes to Shisui. The very first time she shows up on screen, she's chasing a cat. She's loud, she's dorky, she won't stop talking about bugs, and your brain immediately goes, oh, she's the fun side character, the comic relief, the one who shows up every few episodes to make Maomao smile, and then disappears again. And you'd be right, that's exactly what she needed you to think. Because masks are funny that way. They hide everything underneath. The personality, the outfit, the bugs, all of it was a performance. And the show was practically daring you to look closer the whole time. I want to talk about how the Apothecary Diaries hid Shisui's biggest secret in plain sight, and why the way they did it is actually kind of brilliant. Quick recap for anyone who needs it, and don't worry, I'll keep it tight. Shisui is actually Lady Lowland, one of the Emperor's 4 highest consorts, and daughter of Prime Minister Shisui, the head of the Shi clan. She was essentially forced into the consort position by her father, as a political chess piece to gain influence over the imperial court. And rather than accept that life quietly, Lowland built herself an escape hatch. She created a fake identity, a maidservant named Shisui, so she could actually live, collect insects, make friends, eat ice cream, you know, be a person. The nickname Shisui she borrowed from her half-sister's birth name. The name of their mother had stripped away out of cruelty, a stolen name for a stolen life. So even the alias is loaded with tragedy. Period pieces, man. Nobody gets anything nice. By the end of the season, Lowland engineers the downfall of her own clan's rebellion, saves a group of poisoned children, and is presumed dead. It's a lot, and the show sets up every single piece of it well in advance. Let's get into how. The most obvious clue is the one the show almost dares you to catch. Shisui and Lowland have the exact same hair and eye color, same dark plum hair, same golden eyes. It's right there. And if you caught who she really was on your first watch, respect. I can't speak for most people, but I sure didn't see it coming. The show designed Lowland's entire public image specifically so that clue wouldn't land. Every single one of Lowland's ladies-in-waiting resembled her. The hairstyles, the outlandish fashion rotating constantly, and Lowland apparently had over 50 ladies in waiting, reportedly the largest staff in the entire imperial harem. When you've got a rotating cast of lookalikes and a wardrobe that changes every week, nobody can build a stable picture of what you actually look like. Unless you're Jinchi, of course, because he's, well, Jinchi. It amazes me sometimes how makeup can drastically change someone's appearance. I mean, look at Maomao. The visual stuff is fun, but the behavioral clues are where it really gets interesting, because each one is hidden in plain sight, as just a personality quirk. First, it's the timing. Shortly after Lowland arrives at court, Shisui shows up. Maomao notices it in passing, and then the next scene happens and you forget about it. Second, Shisui is notably chatty and loud. The show specifically tells us that Lowland is known for being quiet and nearly silent in public. These feel like opposite personalities, but that's by design. The shrill voice is an act. The whole loudness of Shisui is a costume, just as much as the maid outfit is. Third, Shisui's knowledge of insects goes way beyond a hobby. For a humble court maid, she knows their biology, their behavior, their life cycles. She's essentially a walking encyclopedia. And that's not even the only thing that doesn't add up. It's also pretty clear early on that Shisui can read and write, which, for a laundry maid, is kind of a big deal. Maomao even confirms it later in the season. 2 skills that nobody questions in the moment, but in hindsight, are just sitting there waving at you. Throughout season 2, Maomao keeps running into things about Shisui that don't quite fit the picture. Shisui's sharper than any laundry maid has any right to be. She moves through the rear palace with ease, somehow on good terms with mid-level consorts who wouldn't give a regular servant the time of day. Episode 37, the bathhouse episode, where Shisui's disguise almost cracks without her even knowing. Maomao finally gets a good look at Shisui without the baggy uniform, and can't help but notice, let's just say Shisui has exactly the body type the Emperor is known to prefer. Later in the same episode, Maomao overhears a consort casually mention that Lady Lowland has a habit of wearing loose clothing whenever she goes out. 2 separate observations, same episode. If you're Maomao, if you're paying attention, you can put 2 and 2 together right then and there. Again, the clues are clever. What's even cleverer is what Maomao does with it. Maomao is the best detective in the show. She picks up on things nobody else catches. She solved every mystery the palace threw at her across 2 seasons, but even she doesn't notice the signs with Shisui, the literacy, the hair color, the timing. She puts them all together and doesn't think past it. That is, until it's too late. But, in her defense, she's probably just listening to Loman and trying her best not to go down the rabbit hole of assumption, or maybe Maomao just wants a friend. Lowland was already there in season 1. There's a lecture scene where she's sitting through Maomao's specialized class, and visibly could not care less. Knowing what we know now, Shisui's checked out because she never wanted any of this. And honestly, she was probably still listening. I mean, come on. It's hard to completely zone out when the topic is specialized instruction on bedroom techniques for servicing the Emperor. And then there's episode 43. Before a festival, Shisui picks out a mask, and not just any mask. It's supposed to be a fox, but Maomao takes one look and says she looks more like a tanuki, a girl hiding behind a mask, being compared to a creature famous for hiding behind one. In Japanese folklore, tanuki are tricksters, shapeshifters, creatures famous for shapeshifting at will and making everyone around them none the wiser. After rewatching season 2 with all of this in mind, what makes Shisui's arc so unforgettable is so much more than the twist. Plenty of shows do identity reveals, is that the reveal recontextualizes everything you've already seen and makes you appreciate every single interaction differently. Every scene of Shisui goofing around with Maomao and Shaolan, she probably already knew her time was running out. Shisui was never the mask, Lowland was. There's something almost poetic about the whole thing. We all wear masks from time to time, the version of ourselves we show at work, around family, in public, but most of us get to choose which mask we put on. Shisui never had that option. There's a difference between wearing a mask and being trapped in one. Her mask was a cage built by everyone around her. The consort title, the heavy makeup, the rotating ladies in waiting, layer after layer until the real person underneath was completely invisible. Yet somehow, in those little stolen moments, laughing at nothing, going to the bathhouse, eating ice cream with friends, Shisui found a way to breathe, to exist, to be herself, even just for a little while. If every day is a performance, those small pockets of realness are what you hold onto most. Thanks for watching, and as always, remember to save your progress. The Rear Palace waits for no one. If you made it to the end of the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel. Thanks.